What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the postseason press conference for Flock. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Got a few members of the team here today. Um, Shocker, not many of them knew that it was happening right now, but we do have Fordle, the main tank, and Nero, the flex DPS. Might have a few more coming in later if they happen to notice the ping. It should be a rather short one because obviously there's only two people here. So we did have a few questions, most of the ones I filled in, and we'll have like a few general questions at the end just to get some good responses out of people. So let's see. Well, can't really, well, I guess I could ask that one in a way. So one of the questions, it was initially meant for management, but I obviously no management here, but I guess Fordle, you can sort of answer this. Was the trio that you're a part of, like Surf, you, and EMP, was that like coincidental pickup in the draft, or did Flock like actually scout you guys together?
No, I think both me and EMP had the attitude, hey, we'll play if we're drafted, and we'll be happy if we don't get drafted. And then I think Surf got drafted because he was one of the two players that Hawk scouted and successfully got. And then I think Hawk said to Surf or Owen that, yo, I have no more ideas. And I think Surf reached out to us and he was like, yo, if you get drafted, will you play? And we're both like, hell yeah. And then we were on the team.
Alright. I kind of figured that's how it happened. Total like combination of coincidental and planned out. So another question that I think I kind of know the answer to because I've heard a few teams talk about it in like I think actually we have Peter as well. Okay, we have more than two people. We also have Peter, another DPS. Second question is how did the balance changes prior to week 1 affect you guys? So obviously we had like the double shield meta from the draft, and then it shifted over to that Rhine Diva brawl later on.
I think it was all about the tanks. So I wasn't really comfortable on Orisa. I think anybody who scrimmed us or has seen that would know. And then I was actually playing Reinhardt at the time in comp and doing just fine into Orisa Sigma. So when the week before the season starts, the meta completely changes to my best hero and Surf's best hero, which is Diva. We immediately felt a change in scrims and in the games, and we were like, we became so confident in ourselves and so happy, and I think it worked out for the best. It was really fun, and that meta lasted throughout pretty much the whole season, so it was a good time.
Yeah, I believe I remember. I think it might have been someone on Flushed saying something about the same thing. Like you guys didn't look comfortable on Double Shield, and instantly looked more comfortable on Rhine. Next question. These are all anonymous, by the way. No one in advance really gave their name. Who would you say was your most vocal leader in game, or was it like multiple people?
I don't know.
Just kind of everyone talking.
Everybody just did their thing.
So I think for shot calling, a lot of the times I was the one who like would start the fight, but Peter and Surf would always pick up the slack and cover the gaps. And then Nero and I would do fight planning, and then I think me, EMP, and whoever was in on Flex DPS would do the ult tracking. So it was all a group effort, and whenever somebody got quiet, other people picked it up. And I don't think we had one leader, in essence, I guess.
Interesting. Actually, speaking of Peter and Nero in particular, in past seasons, they've been more associated with like getting on the teams that Plasma's been on, because obviously they were on Go Again Season 0, that whole shebang. So how did you guys manage to find them and pick them up? They just like
so I got drafted, right? And then I talked to Henry and I was like, hey, do you want to join this cool League Zero team?
I was looking for teams halfway through the season, and then there was a bunch of teams, and then there was the team with Peter Lee, so I picked that one. It wasn't much thought being put into it, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever works.
I did try a bunch of football.
Alright, and this one I'm actually very curious about because I genuinely don't know, but as the manager that probably talked to the least, what was Hawk like as a leader?
Well, I would argue that he was actually a really good coach. At least he was much better than anything I had experienced before, and he brought Jay Venom in a few times to help us out, and he was really productive as a coach, if not teaching us things, but reminding us to stay on our A game and how to do that, and just reminding us of the simple fundamentals that we were forgetting rather than the micro play, because we have really smart players and we had leadership in that area, but he was a fine leader when he showed up, I guess. He was great.
When I think of Hawk, I just
took
think
entire weeks off basically sometimes. He had some other stuff going on, but
Other commitments, as you would say.
yeah, when he was there, it's pretty cool. Better than last season.
Yeah, I think I recall that happening last season with Crest too. So just kind of curious if that carried over.
Oh, I just realized that Hawk and Flock. To get it?
Oh yeah.
This was a bullet. Okay.
I don't think
you know
that was
something.
intentional. That was just their rebranding from Crest. So, what did you guys do, if anything, for like team bonding exercises?
Well, sometimes we would play quick play, and Peter would feed his brains out, so it's really unfortunate.
Didn't you guys run across like
We
Hanamura?
would all make fun of Akahap when he would play hentai in the voice chat, so if that counts.
Okay, well, I want to be surprised, but I'm pretty sure I remember him spamming
Sometimes
that
at
shit.
like 1 o'clock in the morning, I would go on a conspiracy theory rant, and they wouldn't say anything, but just by being there, it's very interesting.
Interesting. Didn't you guys run into some other League Zero team like before a game one week?
Yeah,
in quick
yeah.
Oh
play?
yeah, and quick play.
Yeah.
Quickly,
Yeah, I think we matched Guangzhou in the final week, so week 12 against Newts, before the game began, something like that.
Yeah, I was on Flex Tank, I remember that.
That's funny.
I'd like to point out that my Flex Tank is probably top 1 in the league. I
Ooh.
went 12-9 in the Newt match, so if you're looking for a Flex Tank player, just remember I was 80% ult charge after 4 minutes, so kind of impressive.
Well, let's see. So, who would you say was like your favorite player outside of your own team to watch this season in advance?
Personally, I liked watching Zira, just all the hype and talk about him, and how much shit he got all the time. But I'm happy that Flush ended up winning, and I'm glad that he finally got the chip.
Yeah, I didn't watch anybody.
Fair.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I would watch the team we're about to face just to check what they run, but
The only match I watched was the all match against Flush in the Easy Clap Newts match in preparation for the finals. That's pretty much it. Sometimes I'd watch our own broadcast to see what mistakes we made, but no specific player comes to mind, at least for me.
That's fair. Alright, so what would you say your biggest regret this season would be, if any?
Picking up Peter Lee, biggest regret of all time.
Team?
Not winning.
I mean, since nobody else is gonna... well, it's more of a personal thing than a team thing, so I don't know if it's a... But, anyway, I think the week that we faced Easy Clap, I think, that was my spring break. This was before COVID started shutting everything down. Like, right before. Anyway, I was on spring break, and I left my good PC at my dorm because it was just a week and Neil was starting that game anyway. So I left my PC at my dorm, but like we got news that spring break was going to be extended for my college because of COVID-19,
Oh.
and so I'm like, okay, sometime I need to go up there. So me and my dad are literally discussing, okay, when are we going to go up there to get my PC? Because I had a PC at home or at my dad's house, but it was barely running 60 frames. It wasn't very good. But yeah, So we're discussing, all right, when are we gonna get like my actual usable PC? And then like during that discussion, I checked my phone, and my college just sent out an email saying the dorms were completely shut down. Like nobody could go in unless you had nowhere else to go. And so the rest of the season, I was playing on a potato of a PC.
Interesting. Actually, speaking of going back to Nero's comment about Peter, so you two kind of like swapped up hitscan and flex every now and then. Like I remember seeing Peter on Doomfist, and normally I think of him as a hitscan player. So like, was that just who was more comfortable on certain heroes, or just like, hey, let's try this and it worked?
His Doom's cracked.
Yeah, I'm just more comfortable on Doom.
Have you ever seen me play Doomfist?
No.
I think you have. Ever watch a gold Doomfist? That's probably me. No, Peter snorts the hella crack when he locks the Doom. And in terms of calling structure, Doom Reaper is really all about engaging with the Doomfist. Peter's got a better sense of when to get the bubble, when to go in. And he's more in sync with the flex tank than I am, probably.
Alright.
Also, when I play Reaper, I can press shift and get out of jail free. That's really useful when you play like me, which is which I wouldn't say heavily relies on being a bot, but there's certainly some level of botishness.
Channel your inner bumper except on Reaper.
Yeah, and you just press shift and instantly you're fine.
Alright, and I got one more question for you guys. This one should be interesting. So what would be your favorite memory to come out of this season? And you all can have a different one, obviously.
Easily the friendships, 150%. I'm so happy I met this gang, and I hope we continue to be friends for as long as I'll be alive.
I was in a voice channel, and EMP was in the voice channel, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, listen to me, and I said something weird, and EMP was like, yeah, and I was like, holy shit. He actually...
I remember that.
Okay. That's like heavily voice channel. Okay. But I don't remember, but it's just stuck in my head. He was just like, yeah, and I was like, whoa, that was cool.
Okay, for like
Just
an
makes no
actual
sense.
real answer, something that happened during the season. The first Newts match with the Surf's internet issues.
Yeah. What were the comments like when
That was a fun
happening?
game.
Like when you had to continue playing 5v6 for like that, 15-ish% of the of Gardens, I think, on Oasis. What were the comms like?
Well, we had the point, thank God, and we were like, here's their ults, here's our plan. So I think the plan was to just hide behind the corner, get the wall, and then just try to do anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what happened. They made a few mistakes with their wall, and that enabled like us to get our wall up and win that fight. And oh my God, the comms after we won were like, holy hell, this is doable.
Yeah, didn't we have to play an entire point without Surf?
He got there at like 70%, but ult advantage
Yeah.
and comp
Yeah.
differences just made it impossible for us to win.
Ooh, there was one time when it was on Volskaya, and I was playing Reaper. I said, what's the dumbest thing I could possibly do? And you know how in point A there's that two-prong choke separated by the tank or the vehicle?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. So I just hid in the corner. And I said, this is the dumbest thing, it'll never work because they have a. So but then they walked around the corner and I just one-shot someone and then I shifted forward and it was really funny. That was a terrible way of explaining. Basically, I did something incredibly stupid and it turned out to be pretty alright.
I can think of a few teams that did that 24/7 and got away with it, so I mean, it works. Anyone else have anything in particular they remember fondly?
Yeah,
Nope.
when it was over and Peter Lee wasn't able to join contract. God, thank God.
Alright, well, thank you guys for showing up. This is honestly more of a turnout than I was fearing it was going to be, so that's nice. At the very least, we got a few players here. Hope you all enjoyed this. Actually get to hear something out of Flock. I know most of them were rather quiet in general chat and whatnot. So got to hear a little bit of their perspectives. I know Fordle has to go back to work or something like that. So I'll end this now. Thank you all for tuning in. Tune in later for, God, what's the next one on the schedule? I think Powerhouse? Yeah, probably Powerhouse. So tune in for that if that sounds interesting, and see ya.